position that we all addressed, that we all thought was a need going into free agency that was addressed was wide receiver. We wanted a big wide receiver, a bigger wide receiver. Not maybe not a Musha Muhammad, big, but like a guy who's over 6 foot. In response to that, the Dolphins brought in Nick Westbrook-Ikhine, a 6'2", 211-pound wide receiver from the Tennessee Titans. Now, this is a guy who has struggled to stay healthy at times, but he's great at identifying zones. He's got great hands, great concentration, and he's actually made some really big plays for the Titans, including a 98-yard touchdown reception against the Vikings last year, in which the safety cut in front of him, and he kept on running and had the wherewithal to know this safety's not getting to this ball. I'm going to catch it. I'm going to take it to the house. So I think it's a great signing. I'm a huge fan of it. He's going to be 28 years old for at the start of the season. And again, this is a guy that has never been a number 1 option. He's never been a number 2 option. He's rarely ever been a number 3 option in his offense, which kind of makes him perfect for the Dolphins offense because he's going to come in and be behind Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and Jonnu Smith and Devon Achane and other guys in the pecking order. He's not going to be a number 1 option. He's going to be a Johnny on the spot and a guy who you toss it up to in the red zone, maybe a fade, or a guy who identifies a zone in the red zone. This is a solid signing, unspectacular, but solid. Guy had 9 touchdown catches last year. Also, guys. On
Tennessee.
Yeah, on Tennessee. 9 touchdown catches on 32 receptions. That is insane efficiency right there. Does anybody have any thoughts on Nick Westbrook-Ikhine?
Yeah, I think my favorite attribute of his game is his blocking.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, is he a good 50-50 ball guy? He's tall, he's fast. Yes, that's exactly what we needed in this room for positional diversity, which is something we've beat to death on this show, right? If you go back and watch his tape at when Derrick Henry was there, right, and you look at how they lined him up offset of the tackle in most cases, and on numerous of Henry's and other running backs' big runs, he's pulling a Michael Orr from the blind side, right, yeah, on the safety or on the linebacker at his size, and it's not even close. I mean, he's putting his head into the sternum of the defender and pushing him out of bounds over the fence and onto the bus. Go home. And that is exactly what you want in your big, tall number 3 wide receiver. And what have we said in this offense? What does this offense require their wide receivers to do more than anything else? Block
on the edge. Yeah.
You have to block on the edge, especially if we are going to be stubbornly headstrong on screen passes as an extension of the run game yet again, which I think I can speak for all of us and say, I hope not. But he brings that tenacity and that dog mentality that you see everyone saying we need to get more dogs. Well, we just got one, and just like you, Keith, I was ecstatic when I saw this pop up on my phone.
Really good signing. Taylor, you have any thoughts on Westbrook-Ikhine?
A lot of what Josh said. I want to add on here. One of my favorite parts of his game was that 2-month run he had last season, where he scored a touchdown in nearly every game from October through November. Nice. He was a lock for me on Underdog, so props to him for that, and hopefully he has a few touchdowns.
Yeah.
Hey, we're open for it.
Anthony, any thoughts on Nick Westbrook-Ikhine?
This is exactly who I was looking for. I mean, not the name, but the type of player, the budget that we paid for him. Like when I did my wide receiver breakdown a few weeks ago, I talked about how there's a trend that 6'2" wide receivers are like the sweet spot, and we got ourselves a sweet spot wide receiver for $3 million a year. This is exactly what I was hoping they would do at this spot, and so pretty ecstatic about it. I hope he stays healthy because Jesus, our wide receiver room is banged up as always.
But just the contract details real quick: a 2-year, $6.5 million contract, $3.2 million to guaranteed. Sweetheart of a price for a player of his caliber, in my opinion.
This likely means we're looking at the draft for somebody. I mean, we got 11 draft picks, so we're probably picking up somebody in the later rounds or so.
Also, just that guard market that we talked about earlier, where we talked about Aaron Banks and Will Fries. That wide receiver market was rough to look at too.
It was
John Palmer and who did Patriots get? Patriots got somebody that was a wild deal too. That wasn't Matt Collins. But the wide receiver market was like 8 to 10 million per receiver. So to see Ikhine go for what is a therapy contract is awesome to see.
Yeah, very team friendly.